One of the things that we love about this show is that we have an open door policy. You want to come on the show, come on the show. We'd love to hear from you. I like to stay in touch, obviously, like a lot of people, with their friends. And recently, the news about Davis Love III having undergone open heart surgery was highly concerning. I've been in touch with my friend, making sure that he's okay. He's been very good in his communication. I haven't shared this with you, I will admit, to the audience, because it's private communication between two people. I didn't expect that DL3 would jump on with us today. So let's say hello to Davis Love III, who surprised us to join us on the program. And it is awesome because I am dying to find out in a public forum, my friend, how you doing? If I may, why did you have open heart surgery? How far along are you in your recovery? How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing great. I'm exactly 4 weeks from surgery, and had a big checkup down at Mayo Jacksonville on Friday, and they said I am good to go, and they're even going to give me the keys back to my truck so I can start driving again, which Robin Love is very happy about. She's been driving me around for a month, but I'm doing great. Rehab, getting back to normal life, except for I just have to protect my chest. I had about half my ribs cut open and was split kind of halfway wide open. So coming back from that is going to be the challenge. It's not really, my heart's fixed. I feel great. And now I got to protect this chest for another 6 or 8 weeks, and then I can go back to playing golf.
All right. Could you show us, just kind of gesture with your hand on your shirt there, if you would, on your hoodie? Where's the incision? How large is it?
Well, I keep saying that I went to Southern Soul Barbecue, and I didn't get a full rack of ribs, but also didn't get a half rack of ribs. Somewhere in between is how much I got split open. So basically didn't get my sternum split at the bottom. So if you, a lot of people have had open heart surgery, it sounds pretty scary, but if you could have a simple one, I had a simple one. I just had a valve replaced, but the doctor wanted to get in there and look at my heart and make sure he didn't need to do anything else. So I went kind of the hard route to do a pretty simple surgery. A good friend of mine 2 weeks before me had a valve placed in his heart. They went up his leg, and it was pretty simple, and they let him go that day. I kind of went you know me, Matt, I'm going to do it the hard way if I can do it the hard way. And so it's really just bouncing back from a little bit of a change in my heart, but also, I broke my ribs, so I gotta let them heal before I can swing a golf club. So I was told I could putt in March, which is coming quick, and then I'll be hitting balls in April. And so I think that means hopefully playing golf back again in May.
Yeah, when you talked about me knowing you, I also know that it's incapable of you to sit still. Also, how are you keeping the grandkids from jumping anywhere near the injury?
Well, the grandkids have now 3 horses, and Robin has 2 little mini cows in the barn. And so I'm walking around giving directions. Like, okay, you do this. And my daughter Lexi said the other day, so your doctor says you can't putt, but you can scoop poop. So something's wrong. You're breaking a rule here somewhere. So the rule is I can't pick up anything over 10 pounds. I got to keep my elbows in. So Randy Myers, my trainer, and Dan Alcott, my therapist, are like, okay, we can do some little things. We can do a lot of stuff with your legs. You can walk, you can ride a bike. So I'm pushing the limits of what I can do with my heart, but I'm not pushing the limits of what I can do with my arms. They say you can wash your hair, but don't wash windows. So I got to keep my arms in, and it is hard, but they cautioned me. They said, if you screw this up with your chest, you're going to be a year before you can play golf. So, like Brant Snedeker's had problems with his sternum, and I know the issues of trying to come back from that kind of an injury. So I'm being very, very careful. I'm overdoing everything they're asking me to do, whether it's checking my blood pressure or my diet. I'm overdoing it probably, but I'd rather do that than not be careful. So I literally did not drive, for a month. Jimmy Johnson, my friend and agent, drove me up here to this Korn Ferry thing today. My brother drove me to the TPC Sawgrass to look at the golf course yesterday. I'm doing as I'm told and trying to be a good boy.
Davis Love III was inducted into the World Golf Hall of Fame. He was a Payne Stewart Award recipient in 2008. He won, of course, 21 times on the PGA Tour, including the 1997 PGA Championship, a six-time United States Ryder Cup team player. He served as captain for the United States Ryder Cup team twice, six times represented the United States in the President's Cup team. He was the 22 United States President's Cup team captain. He had 790 starts on the PGA Tour, of which 108 of those were top five finishes. Let that simmer just for a second with that reality. Davis, when you were ready to go in, and I don't mean to be crass, but when you were ready to go under the knife, was there a fear? Was there something within you that said this might be the final chapter?
Yeah, a lot of my friends have asked me, were you nervous? And thankfully, one of my great friends, Dr. Jack Amy in Sea Island, has been taking care of me a long time, and a doctor that Jack Lumpkin introduced me to down at Mayo, they both caught this little heart murmur like 10 years ago. So I've been prepared for this surgery for a long time, and expert team at Mayo has been watching it carefully for the last 2 years. So I was studied up on it. I knew what was going to happen, and I knew the success rate. But yeah, I had a heart catheterization a couple weeks before that. That was scary. They lay you on the table, said, oh, you'll wake up in about 7 or 8 hours and you'll be fixed. That's a little bit scary, but I had a lot of confidence. Dr. Jack Haney at Mayo, chief of cardiology, walked me through every step of it. And so I was pretty confident in the team and the process, but yeah, they turn you off for a while and then turn you back on. It's a little intimidating.
How is your energy level now that you have had this done? Are you noticing anything different physically in terms of having energy? I heard you mention that you're checking your blood pressure, et cetera.
Well, that was what everybody around me said. Wait a minute, you're active all day. Golf's the easiest thing you do in your life. You're like a construction worker or a farmer all the time when you're not playing golf. So that was really a hard thing to get over, is like, do I really have a problem? Should I really be doing this? But they convinced me that you're losing 50% of your blood every pump. This valve is not working. It's going to have to be replaced. So once they pointed out the issues, I said, oh yeah, when I sit down, I do feel that. Or yeah, when I work out, I do have to catch my breath a little bit more than I used to. I thought it was being 60 years old, but it was really, I was not aware. And that's what's such a blessing, that this team found that so early that we could watch it, is I could have gone along and just said, well, I feel fine. And then all of a sudden something blows up. So this is the time for me to tell my friends and people, get a physical, get a checkup, do your mammograms, all these things that they're asking you to do. It's for what happened to me. I knew 10 years ago that I had a problem and I had to be careful. And you know me, I watch my diet some, I watch my fitness some, but we were aware of this, and I was prepared for it.
That last message, folks, is so critically important that you just heard from the Hall of Famer, which is get checked. And for whatever reason, I'm constantly beating the drum, as you guys know, with my skin cancer. Go to a dermatologist, right? Especially all of us involved in golf and out in the sun. So, Davis, I've always thought of you more like the scarecrow, because I don't know too many people that have been rebuilt, restuffed more times than you. But now you have a little bit of a tin man because of what you've done with the heart as well. After all this is done, let's look forward. Let's be positive about this. After you go through and the ribs are allowed to heal up, are you ready to go?
Yeah, I was told just last Friday, when you get to April, you're going to be able to do as many push-ups, as many golf swings as you want. You're going to be fine. So yeah, then it's back to work. And I've had a lot of other issues. I got a lot of parts that don't work. So I'm going to have to get back in shape, golf shape. Right now I'm doing the legs, and I'm thinking about what am I going to do to get ready to play again. But yeah, you said 790 starts. I got 12 or 13 to go to get past Mark Brooks. My friend Justin Leonard just won for the first time on the Champions Tour. I don't think I've ever finished in the top 5. I want to get back to playing and competing. Freddie Couples called me on his way to Naples, and he's like, man, when are you going to play again? I miss seeing you. So I'm ready to get back out there and mix it up and see my friends. So yeah, the goal is to get back to golf. My heart, Jim Nance said it was my line, but I think it was his line. I went in healthy and I came out healthier. So I'm really not in a place where, I'm going to struggle the rest of my life. Yes, in 10 or 15 years, I'm going to have another heart valve. But for now, I'm good to go. And to your question, yes, I feel better than I did a month ago, and I'm ready to get back after it. And yes, they're having to tie me down. I'm not an old guy that's sick. They're having to tie me down and harness my energy rather than trying to get back going again.
I'm sure you heard from a gazillion people once it went public that you had the open heart surgery. Could you share with us anybody you heard from that maybe surprised you?
No, but it was heartwarming. So many people reached out and so many people were concerned because, like you said, when you say open heart surgery, it scares people really bad. My great friend Peter Persons that I grew up playing golf with. He played at University of Georgia, and a great player and a great friend. He was like mad that I didn't tell him before I did it, but I was trying not to worry my friends or worry my family. I held it back, and so I got out of the hospital and started calling my close friends. I called Lance Barrow from CBS Sports. 30 minutes later, Jim Nance is calling me. So it's heartwarming, but he spilled the beans during the final round of Torrey Pines and scared a whole bunch of people. But I'm blessed to have a lot of friends, and they reached out. I'm still catching up. I got people on the text chain that I still have to call back and that I missed. But it's been a wild ride, from my neck surgery and hip replacements and now my heart. I'm really lucky that my doctor is saying you can go back and play golf. He's not telling me to retire. So I'm excited about the future.
So my understanding is that next year at the RSM Classic, the only food that we're going to be served is grilled chicken and maybe some broccoli.
Well, no, I'm more on beef right now. I had a cow tendon put in my thumb, and now I've got a cow valve in my heart. So I'm thinking I got to stay on the program.
That is too classic. Hey, before we lose you, because you're here and you've had the time to kind of sit around and not do the zillion things that you normally do, are you paying attention to what's like Tiger told Jim this past week and Trevor Immelman too, that things are looking good. The conversation that they had, we know the commissioner and Adam Scott went to see the president to talk about what they're calling the reunification of the game. What are you hearing on the inside with that? Is that encouraging to you?
Well, I'm encouraged because I've been on the outside. I've been on the bench for a long time and not playing. I was, as I said, down at TPC Sawgrass yesterday with my friend Jeff Plotz, the head of agronomy down there, looking at the golf course. They just closed it for 3 weeks to get ready for the players. And everybody's like, "What have you heard? What do you know?" And I go, "Thankfully, I don't know anything. I'm not on the inside anymore," which has been nice. But to read between the lines and know where this was going, a year ago, knowing the plan, I think we're in a good place. Jay has done an incredible job, as I've said several times, with COVID. He got blindsided with this whole deal the last 3 or 4 years. A lot of great advice and maybe a little bad advice here and there, but they have worked their way through it. And I think when we do hear something, as everything Jay's thrown out and Tim Fincham's thrown out over the last 10 or 15 years, it will be a positive for the tour and a positive for the game.
How would you, because you do go out of your way to say that Jay has done a great job. You mention it every time that I bring it up with you. How important is that message against the narrative that is out there that somehow the players are angry at Jay Monahan?
Well, you can look at, President Bush didn't know that somebody was going to blow up the World Trade Center. And it was a complete disaster for this country and for his presidency. President Trump didn't know that COVID was coming, and it was a disaster for our country and for his plan. Jay Monahan didn't know that COVID was coming and didn't know that, a foreign government was going to try to take a run at his business. So, yes, they all probably made mistakes dealing with major issues that they didn't see coming. But Jay has done a great job listening to the players, restructuring the board, which I was a big part of, listening to his advisors, reorganizing the state of the game, and rallying people around. No business, I've said this on the PGA Tour board for 30 plus years, no business runs perfectly and never makes mistakes. It doesn't matter if it's AT&T or FedEx, everybody makes mistakes. And we got to give the benefit of a doubt, and we've got to all pull together. So if you don't support your leaders, you're not going to get good performance out of them.
Davis, when you are fully healed, we're going to have you back on and celebrate your career and what you have accomplished, and relive some memories that are significant, not only Ryder Cups and President's Cups and captaincies of the same, but maybe a couple that got away too, as that's always compelling stories, and maybe have a couple of your friends stop by, like Justin Leonard and others. Looking forward to that, more so looking forward to the fact that you are on the mend. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking in with us today and letting the world know that you're okay and you're close. All the best to Robin and the kids and the grandkids.
Well, thank you, and I look forward to getting back out on tour and seeing you and all my other friends. So thanks a lot.
Me too.